Hello everyone, welcome back to my astrology channel. Now before I start today's video, I would really like to thank everyone who has watched my videos, who have subscribed to me, commented and liked. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much for doing that, and I hope the content that I provide, the information that I provide is useful to you and you can use the energy to, take informed decisions in your life to create more awareness. The main purpose of sharing these astrological energy is not to predict or to fortune telling. It's basically for you to understand the energies that is available, the cosmic energy that's available in your life, in whatever area of life you are trying to work upon, and how to use it, how to streamline your effort. So if you understand what's available and where to focus more on, they can create a little bit more fulfilling life. So that's the main purpose. So thank you very much for joining me on my channel. Now in today's video, I'll be talking about the solar eclipse that's occurring on the 4th of December 2021. Now this solar eclipse occurs in the sign of Sagittarius and is the last of the eclipse on the Sagittarius and Gemini axis. Now we have been having this Sagittarius Gemini axis eclipse since last 18 months, since 2020, the last year. So this is culmination, the ending of the tail end, the last eclipse. Now the themes that were associated with Gemini and Sagittarius has closed. It has come to an end. So we have moving on to the Taurus Scorpio axis now from next year, and already we had a lunar eclipse on the 19th of November that is already kick-started the next year, the next theme of Taurus and Scorpio. But this solar eclipse on 4th of December is really putting an end to the theme of last 18 months, and is not just putting an end to the theme, but it's also renewing your hope and faith, and whatever you stand for, whatever your philosophies are, it's kind of giving an opportunity to renew and refresh and really revisit the old theme that is not relevant anymore, and learn from that, and use that information, the wisdom that you've gained from that to move forward, with new opportunities that's coming in your way from next year. Now this new moon in Sagittarius is occurring at about 12°22', and this solar eclipse will be a total solar eclipse. So the sun will be completely blocked. Now most part of the world may not see this solar eclipse because it's going to mostly occur in the southern hemisphere, like really southern hemisphere. So most of the northern hemisphere won't be able to see this. Now that does not mean you won't be influenced. You may have less influence as compared to the lunar eclipse on the 19th of November, but nevertheless you'll still feel the effect of the solar eclipse, and you feel a sort of wanting to move forward from any kind of stuck energies that you might have had, or anything that is you're working upon and you have not had a result and outcome on it. You will approach those matter with really a renewed faith, new energy. So you will be in a place in December when you are really ready to move forward and really to barge forward, and anything that was limiting you, anything maybe your own thinking was limiting you, if not external forces. So if it's your own emotions, your own mental limitation that's restricting you from moving forward, all that will be gone, and you will be really thinking more future. You will be really future focused. Now the ruler of this Sagittarius New Moon solar eclipse is Jupiter, and Jupiter is in the sign of Aquarius, and Jupiter in Aquarius may not be 100% comfortable in it, but it still amplifies and helps in making progress. It's in a much better position than it was in the sign of Capricorn, where it feels a lot more limited. Now both are Saturn sign, though Aquarius is co-ruled by Uranus as well, so it brings in that progressiveness, that electrifying energy. So this new moon in Sagittarius definitely has got that Jupiter in Aquarius theme as well. Now during this new moon, the main aspect, the spotlight is on Jupiter squaring Mars in the sign of Scorpio. Both are fixed sign. So Jupiter and Mars is forming a square aspect. Now Jupiter is all about bigness. It's about optimism, hope. It's about really going, really going big. And Mars is your action-oriented planet. It's the energy. So whenever Jupiter comes in aspect to Mars, it can be an absolutely great energy to move forward. Now, because it's a challenging aspect, it's a square aspect, you may feel a bit reckless, impulsive to barge forward, to literally, you want to rush in with all your energy in whichever area it's occupied. So you need to see where Aquarius and where Scorpio sits in your chart. And in those areas of life, you will definitely feel really want to go really impulsively forward. Now this may affect you or people in your surrounding, but you will tend to not care and really be on your agenda. Whatever you want to achieve, you will be definitely moving forward in that sense. Now just be careful, not to confuse yourself, not to create a chaotic environment, confuse unrealistic goals for yourself, because Jupiter is the amplifier, it is the hope, it's a big planet. It really gives you invincibility almost. You feel like you're invincible. Now with Mars, it's the energy planet and gives you all that forward moving action-oriented energy. So when they come together, you can feel a bit reckless, have unrealistic goals as well. So do your work on what you're trying to achieve and, chalk it out, plan it out in a way that you can achieve. Because at the end of the day, even if it's a square aspect, a challenging aspect, it can really strongly affect you, and it can even help you transform as well to what you were and wherever you want to go. So you can really feel the transformation as well. Now during this new moon, Mercury is in Sagittarius conjunct this new moon. It's very close to this new moon. So Mercury is your thinking, is your communication planet, and in the sign of Sagittarius, it's obviously making you very hopeful, very thinking big again, and want to really, your mind is definitely on the Sagittarius matter. So travel, learning, new opportunities, big opportunities, interacting with people, new people, all these things is definitely there. If you're a writer, publishing and all is also the theme. Definitely if you want to travel, relocate, immigrate to another place, it's all there. You will see the effect of the solar eclipse over the next 6 months. So whatever you're feeling right now, especially between this lunar eclipse in November and solar eclipse in December, it's kind of comes together, these lunar and solar eclipse, it works together. So whatever you are working on these during this time, and whatever you're moving on to, you will see the effect for the next 6 months, or you may be continue to work on these things for the next 6 months. So it's a great time, I would say, to really move forward from stuck energies, old energies, and really bring in refreshed energy in terms of what you're thinking, your thought process, your faith, your hopes and wishes, just and new opportunities. Anything that is coming forward, don't stop yourself, don't limit yourself because of old patterns. So just move forward and use this total solar eclipse to move to the new year with that renewed, refreshed energy of Sagittarius, which is all about learning and growing. So let's see now how this Sagittarius new moon total solar eclipse is going to affect each of the zodiac sign. Aries, for you, this Sagittarius solar eclipse occurs in your 9th house. Now 9th house is a natural Sagittarius house. Now 9th house is about your belief system, it's about your vision, it's about your quest, the future opportunities, the exploration and the expansion of mind, and just overall experience that you want to indulge in. Now solar eclipse in your 9th house can bring in circumstances or issues or obstacles or just a plain crisis in terms of 9th house matters. So this could be a childhood conditioning or something that you grew up with, your mindset, whatever your mindset was, or something that you were experiencing in the last few years, in the past, in the recent past as well. So all your belief system is going through a change, and there is almost an opportunity or inclination to bring about refreshed energy in terms of your moral codes, your ethics, your philosophy in life, whatever you think, your vision, your future, how you want to move forward, basically, with the renewed energy, with the renewed faith. So anything that was in the past, especially things that were limiting you, restricting you in terms of your own thinking process, or maybe thinking process of other people around you, so those are spotlighted during this time. And here is an opportunity for you, Aries, to really lay to rest any limiting belief system, any limiting toxic belief system, anything that is really stopping you from growing and reaching your full potential. So make sure you use the solar eclipse energy to really reset whatever your thinking is, reset your whole game plan, reset your whole vision, thinking, whatever belief system you have. And this is going to really open you up to future opportunity, because once you open up your mind for exploration through learning and travel, basically, because ninth house is a travel and learning house. So you open your mind through learning and travel, meeting new people, taking on new education program, maybe a new subject that you're interested in. Taking these things all on is going to definitely open up your mind and is going to set your path, your vision for the future. Whatever you want to achieve, you will see the path clear. But it's important to be ready to let go of things that is stopping you and have the courage to move on, Aries. Now Mercury is conjunct this new moon, Aries, so all the ninth house matter is definitely on your mind, and you're definitely very much eager to make a move as well. A forward motion move is definitely something you're thinking about. Now the ruler of the solar eclipse in Sagittarius is Jupiter, and Jupiter is in Aquarius, and it's forming a square aspect to Mars in Scorpio. Now Aquarius and Scorpio both are fixed signs, and it covers your 8th house and 11th house. So Jupiter is in your 11th house and Mars will be in your 8th house. So 8th house and 11th house once comes together in terms of a square aspect, challenging aspect. You can experience a very demanding, intense social scene. So you're socially very active, and it can really drain you as well. You're definitely eager because Jupiter is the expansive planet and Mars is the action-oriented planet. So you're definitely very eager, very enthusiastic, even reckless to move forward in these matters in terms of collaboration, organization. You want to join causes, you want to associate yourself with. So you are definitely very eager and impulsive even to take these things forward. So it's very important to you do the homework and before you take those paths. So if you want to associate yourself with a collaboration, or you want to join an organization or cause, it's very important that you are careful in terms of what you're getting involved in, and you do your deep research and looking into before you get involved, and it can lead to recklessness or even dissatisfaction if what you're getting involved is not something you want to associate with, and you realize that later on. So make sure you do your homework before you get involved. But overall, Aries, it's a great time to really refresh your mind, refresh your faith, renew your faith, and really think differently from what you have been thinking, what your past conditioning has been, Aries. So move forward with this renewed energy of the Sagittarius solar eclipse. Taurus, for you, the December solar eclipse occurs in your 8th house. Now 8th house is the house of social finances, joint resources. It's also the house of intimacy, the commitment, the faith, the trust, the vulnerability, in terms of union that comes forth. That is what 8th house is all about. Now when a solar eclipse occurs in your 8th house, it can bring in themes or issues or circumstances or obstacles related to the 8th house matter. So the Sagittarius New Moon solar eclipse is going to give you the opportunity to reset the matters related to your 8th house. So if you have any debt or any kind of toxic relationship, this is the time to move on from that. And you might be faced with circumstances and not with your own doing, but external circumstances, and that can come from situations arising from outside yourself or people instigating that can trigger these changes, this turning point and this resetting of any kind of crisis or trauma that you might have felt in the last 18 months, last 2 years. And this is also going to help you in healing. Now Mercury is conjunct this new moon, so your mind, your thinking is definitely very much on healing, on getting out of toxic situations, even looking within for answers. So you will definitely be inclined to gather courage to transform yourself from any emotional upheavals that you might have faced during the last 2 years. So this is a great time to leave the old pattern behind, especially if it's limiting you and is not helping you grow. And this limiting pattern could be in intimate matters, within close ties, relationships. So this is your opportunity to get past and look after yourself and promote your own healing, Taurus. Now the ruler of this Sagittarius new moon is Jupiter, and Jupiter is in the sign of Aquarius. And this Jupiter in Aquarius is squaring Mars in the sign of Scorpio during this time. Now Scorpio is your 7th house, which is the house of relationship, and Jupiter will be in your 10th house, which is a house of career. So there's a square aspect occurring between your house of relationship and your house of career. So be mindful that you might be in some kind of intimate relationship that might be controlling the decisions you are taking, and especially career decisions or even relationship decisions. And you might be very much enthusiastic to go with it, because Jupiter and Mars is this positive energy kind of planet that gives you that enthusiasm, impulsiveness, recklessness. But because of this challenging square aspect, just be mindful that it does not lead to conflict, where you actually want cooperation and negotiation and want to get together in a union to work out whatever plans you have, especially in terms of your career. So be mindful that your relationship is not negatively affecting your career matters, and you're not taking impulsive decision, your life decision, because of a relationship in life, intimate relationship. So definitely, if there is something in your life that is holding you back and that is toxic, and you realize it's not doing you any good, this new moon in this solar eclipse is definitely a turning point for renewed faith in terms of your intimate matter, in terms of your own healing, Taurus. So Taurus, take these opportunities and look to the future with a renewed energy, renewed faith, and leave behind anything that's holding you back. Geminis, for you the Sagittarius solar eclipse occurs in your 7th house. Now 7th house is the house of partnership, relationship, both personal and business. So when a solar eclipse occurs in your 7th house, your relationship is highlighted, and you could be faced with issues, circumstances, externally imposed as well, to deal with your relationship. So this may not be something that's coming from you, but it could be external influence. So Geminis, what the solar eclipse is asking you to is look at your group, the people you're surrounded with, the people you interact with on regular basis, your friends, relationship, anybody, any close tie that you are on constant interaction, constant contact with, and see if they are helpful to you and if they are helping you grow or not. And if you think is that relationship is not growing, is limiting you, then you need to take some action in terms of for your own soul growth, your own advancement. Now during the solar eclipse, Mercury is also in the sign of Sagittarius, which is your 7th house. So again, there's a lot of emphasis on your relationship, because Mercury in the house where the solar eclipse is occurring is asking you to look at your group, and if you're being influenced by them or they are influencing you in terms of how you're communicating with them, how you're interacting with them, because you're definitely thinking about it, the collaboration, the the partnership that you're getting into. It's definitely you need to be mindful you are getting involved with people who is helping you grow and is supportive towards you, Geminis. Now, the ruler of this Sagittarius solar eclipse is Jupiter, and Jupiter is in the sign of Aquarius during this time, which will be your 9th house. And this Jupiter is squaring Mars in the sign of Scorpio in your 6th house. So when planets like Jupiter and Mars is squaring 6th and 9th house, you are definitely very much enthusiastic about traveling, opening up your mind, exploring, taking up new opportunities and all that. And you're very enthusiastic of even changing your routine and schedules to accommodate that. Now that's a great idea most of the time, because it's always good to promote yourself and explore and expand your mind and take up new opportunities, but don't be reckless and impulsive about just changing about your daily work routine and all that to take up new opportunities, because this can have a detrimental effect on your own health. So if you're taking up too much to accommodate working with people, other people, collaborating, and taking up new opportunities through travel, learning as well. So if you're traveling a lot for work, or if if you can travel a lot in today's time, then obviously you need to look at your health as well. So don't let overexertion in your work affect your health. So overall, Geminis, you must have experienced a lot of changes in terms of your partnership, relationship, interaction with other people, and that could be too much of interaction or a complete lack of it. So whatever that might be, that it's going to change, and you definitely will be moving ahead with a kind of renewed energy in terms of your relationship. And now you know better what you want from your relationship, what you want from your day-to-day interaction with other people, and that's what you are inculcating in yourself and you're projecting to the outside world. Now during this solar eclipse, Jupiter and Mars is going to definitely lift you up in terms of your work ethics, and just your general mindset is going to grow as well through the interaction, the new interaction that you will have going forward, Geminis. Cancer, for you, the Sagittarius solar eclipse occurs in your 6th house. Now, 6th house is the house of work and health. It's the house of your routine, your appointments, schedules, just your general lifestyle, what you do on a regular basis, on a routine basis. A new moon in your 6th house is a kind of resetting, renewing energy, and with solar eclipse, this new moon is even more powerful. So you are looking at your daily life, your work, your health, everything, and just looking at what needs changing, where you're not satisfied in your work or your health matters. So you're definitely very much focused in terms of changing anything or transforming your work and health situation, your daily life, just your routine situation as well. And this solar eclipse is going to give you the inclination not to be too rigid and controlling where your routine and your work is concerned. So you're able to balance your work and your health so that both can transform, and you're in a place where both is more conducive to what you want and is more fulfilling and is growing you as well. Now during this time, Mercury is also in the 6th house in the sign of Sagittarius with this solar eclipse. So you're definitely thinking a lot about your work and schedule and your routine and all that, and your just work environment as well. So if you're in a work situation which you're not happy about, you can really use this time to look for something new. And even if it is just a work schedule in terms of timing and hours that you are doing currently, you can definitely change that, and this is definitely going to help you better your work life situation. Now Cancer, last couple of years there's already a lot of emphasis on your work life, on your just daily lifestyle, daily life, what you're doing on a daily basis. You're really busy. So this is the time to let go of anything that was limiting you, anything if it was toxic or any kind of areas that might need healing, anything that if you're overworked and you're burning yourself out, this is time to release all that and really move forward to better places. Now the rule of this Sagittarius new moon solar eclipse is Jupiter, and Jupiter is in the sign of Aquarius in your 8th house, and this Jupiter is squaring Mars in the sign of Scorpio in your 5th house. Now the challenging aspect between Jupiter and Mars can give you a lot of enthusiasm, impulsiveness, even recklessness to move forward in these areas. 8th house is about your joint resources, your social finances, and 5th house is to do with children, romance, your self-expression, your creative project. So you may take steps in areas related to your money and what you do on a daily basis in terms of creativity, romance, and all that, and it can be impulsive as well. So be mindful what you're doing and just be careful with the steps you take. You don't regret later on. So it's a very good helping energy, because Jupiter and Mars, whenever it comes in aspect, is always going to be beneficial in the end, even if it is a challenging aspect. But there is definitely a need to channel your energy and focus yourself in a positive way so that you can use this Jupiter energy and Mars energy positively. Now Jupiter in Aquarius is not in a comfortable sign position, but Mars in Scorpio is in its own house, so you're definitely very much all eager to express yourself creatively, take up any creative projects and all that. And because there's a lot of sixth house influence in terms of your work life and daily, what you're doing on a daily basis, so you may be very much enthusiastic about expressing yourself creatively and wholeheartedly in terms of what you're doing on a daily basis. You may be taking up new creative projects and expressing yourself in a very powerful, healing manner, and this is definitely going to transform you and move you forward in terms of what your life is on a daily basis. Cancer. Leos, for you, the solar eclipse, December solar eclipse, occurs in your 5th house. Now, 5th house is a house of creativity and children. It's a house of romance. It's a house of having fun, recreational time, things that is gratifying and delightful to you. And it's a house of your creative projects too. So a solar eclipse occurring in your 5th house, definitely bringing up matters concerning your creativity, your self-expression, even matters surrounding your children. So this is the time to reset and refocus yourself in the 5th house matter. Now, if there is some kind of stuck energy regarding these matters and something needs to come to the 4th and resolved, this is the time to reset your mind, your thinking, your how you take action in these matters and really move these things forward. Now, with expressing yourself and your own creative self and taking up creative projects, this is a great time to do that, especially something that is coming from yourself, from your own soul, and you're very enthusiastic to share that with the world, because Sagittarius is the opposite sign to Gemini, and the axis of Sagittarius and Gemini is about social media. It's about putting yourself in terms of communicating your creative self to the world. So if you're preparing yourself to express or preparing to present yourself in front of an audience or on social media, it's a great time to really rethink your strategy and present yourself in the best way as you want to present yourself. So Leos, don't get bogged down by external opinions and people who are coming to you to give their opinion, then that can be negative, not helpful, and just not supportive kind of energy towards you. So don't get too much embroiled in these negative emotions and just express your true creative self and do the prep work and prepare yourself before you present yourself. Now, Mercury is also in the sign of Sagittarius during this solar eclipse, so you're thinking and communicating a lot in terms of 5th house matters. And if you have children, Leos, then they might be going through a kind of a new renewed energy in their lives as well, kind of a resetting energy, renewed energy. So if there's something they are working on or something that you are helping them grow into, this is a great time for them to come out in the best possible manner as well. Now, the ruler of Sagittarius is Jupiter, and Jupiter is in the sign of Aquarius, which is your 7th house, which is opposite sign to you, Leos. And this Jupiter is squaring Mars in the sign of Scorpio, which will be your 4th house. So there's a 7th house of relationship and partnership squaring with your 4th house of home life and family members. So Jupiter and Mars gives this enthusiasm, almost reckless and impulsive enthusiasm and action and hopefulness to take things forward. Now, with 7th house and 4th house, the relationship that you have in life, the interaction that you have in life may be growing a lot and maybe improving as well. Now, this Jupiter and Mars aspect is going to bring a lot of activity, enthusiasm in your home life and also in your relationship. So this is going to really feel really good, but be mindful that you are cooperating and not getting into a conflict in terms of your relationship and house matters. So do bring in a nourishing, welcoming and caring kind of energy in your home life, and this can be achieved through cooperation instead of conflict, Leos. So be mindful what kind of environment you're creating in your relationship and your home environment, and base it on healing and love and cooperation more than conflict, because Jupiter and Mars, when it comes in aspect, does create good results ultimately, but with a challenging aspect as a square is, you may have to channel your energy constructively and refocus it to reap those rewards, the results that you want. So focus your energy on your creative projects and expressing the way you want to express in the world, Leos. Virgos, for you, the December solar eclipse occurs in your fourth house. Now, fourth house is the house of your roots, it's the house of foundation, your emotional foundation, where you feel safe and stable. It's also the house of your house, your home, your family members, family matters, and just anything around your home and family situation. So that's what fourth house brings. So this solar eclipse brings up issues or concerns or circumstances relating to your sense of stability, sense of place, your foundation, sense of foundation. So where you feel comfortable, where you feel stable. So this solar eclipse is going to bring a transformation, a change in these matters. Now with the fourth house eclipse, your roots, your foundation is also spotlighted. So any kind of belief system that you grew up with, any kind of childhood conditioning, the mindset or values or belief system that you were brought up with can come to the fore, and this will give you the push to transform that, to change that, and to develop your own belief system, your own values that is useful to you, supportive to your own growth, Virgos. Now Virgos, since Sagittarius rules your fourth house, your sense of foundation or your sense of security may come from actually traveling. Now I know it sounds contradictory that your sense of stability comes from actually being unstable. What I'm trying to say is that when you travel, Virgos, and when you experience new things, that's when you feel happy, and you may be able to center yourself more, and when you are experiencing new things. Now you are a mutable sign, Sagittarius is also a mutable sign, so experiencing new thing is definitely you Virgos, you really like to try out new things. And when it comes to foundation, traveling is definitely something you enjoy. So maybe you can take a trip to your ancestral place where you were brought up. If you have moved, if you don't live in the same place anymore, maybe you can take a trip there and go and enjoy, and maybe find out something about your root, where you were born and brought up. A solar eclipse on your fourth house, especially if it's very close to your IC, your Iminkali, it can also mean that you are relocating, moving from place. There's some kind of change coming about in terms of where you live, and that could be just moving to another house or moving another city, country, whatever that might be. So all these energies are definitely there, Virgos. Now Mercury is also in the sign of Sagittarius during this solar eclipse, so again your fourth house matter is definitely on your mind a lot. Your home ground, your family, your foundation, security, stability, all that, your house, if you're thinking about moving, buying a new place, all these energies are definitely there, and you definitely want to make some changes in terms of your home and real estate matters, Virgos. Now the ruler of the Sagittarius solar eclipse is Jupiter, and Jupiter is in the sign of Aquarius, and from there Jupiter is squaring Mars in the sign of Scorpio. Now Aquarius is your sixth house and Scorpio is your third house, so there's a sixth house and third house square taking place during this solar eclipse. Now sixth house is your work, your health, and third house is your communication, how you communicate, your network as well, your sibling, just people around you, your neighborhood, and all that. And now Jupiter and Mars aspect is a very enthusiastic, impulsive kind of aspect, but since this is a challenging square aspect, it may lead to recklessness and impulsiveness, so just be mindful about that. So with sixth house and third house is again your schedules, your routine can come into play. Maybe you are changing your routine around your activities around your home or siblings, or close tie matters. Maybe there's some sort of interruption in your routine or what you do on a daily basis because of your home matters, your close ties, your sibling matters, or work or health related matters. So Virgos, definitely there's some kind of resetting in your communication and how you present yourself as well in your work, and you're just in your daily life as well. So all these things are definitely there. Now the next 2 years, 2022 and 2023, there's going to be a lot of emphasis on your third house matters, because the eclipse, because the nodes will move in your third and ninth house, which is your Taurus and Scorpio axis. So you will have this transformation in terms of communication, how you communicate, your mindset, how all these will go through a change and new beginnings and turning point, almost transformational kind of energy you will experience Virgos. So overall, Virgos, during this December solar eclipse, your sense of foundation and stability is definitely spotlighted. So you're making some kind of changes, transformation in these matters. And this will free you from any kind of limiting belief system you might have, or any kind of toxic environment that you might be currently in. So this will definitely help you reset you and move you in better places moving on, Virgos. Libras, for you, the December solar eclipse occurs in your third house. Now, third house is the house of communication. It's a house of networking. It's a house of your siblings and neighborhood as well. So a solar eclipse occurring in your third house is resetting the whole third house matters. So your communication style, your relationship with your siblings and neighborhood, and just your general networking connections with your local community or people you interact, close ties. So you're developing new ways of connecting and communicating with other people. Now, with the solar eclipse occurring in here, there could be a sense of circumstances that might lead to crisis or conflict in terms of your third house matter. Now, the best way to approach this is to express your true self and not get bogged down by external influences and circumstances or what other people have to say around you. Now, third house is about social media, so you may be presenting yourself in front of an audience who's listening to you. So this is going to definitely transform the way you're communicating. Now, when solar eclipse occurs in your third house, it's time to learn or relearn a skill as well. So something that you know already, you may want to brush up on those skills, and this will lead to you presenting your work, your talent, whatever skills you have in a better way. Now, solar eclipse in your third house is also about promotion, self-promotion, talking yourself up, not talking yourself down during this time. So on an emotional level as well, Libras, it's time to really indulge in self-talk that is positive and not negative. So this eclipse is definitely going to highlight your communication style, not just to the outside world, but also to yourself, Libras. Now, Mercury is also in the sign of Sagittarius along with the solar eclipse new moon in your third house. Now, Mercury in third house has a directional strength because it's in own natural Gemini house. Now, with Mercury in your third house, your whole speech, your communication style is definitely getting a boost up. So you are definitely thinking in a different way. You're transforming, your communication style is transforming, and all this is going to help you project yourself, present yourself in the best possible manner, Libras. Now, the ruler of this solar eclipse in Sagittarius is Jupiter, and Jupiter is in the sign of Aquarius in your fifth house, which is about creativity, self-expression, and also it's a house of children. Now, this Jupiter in Aquarius in your fifth house is squaring Mars in the sign of Scorpio in your second house. Now, second house is about your money-making capabilities, your personal finance, your value system. So a Jupiter and Mars aspect is always a good, enthusiastic, positive aspect, and but when it's square, it becomes a little bit challenging. So there's a need to channel your energies positively. So use these both energies constructively to get the best result, and that would be in terms of your creative project, your self-expression, and your money-making capabilities, your finances, personal finance, and your own value system. So Libras, any kind of creative project that you want to get involved in, you'll be very enthusiastic about that. And if you improve your skills and capabilities and your, whatever talents you have, if you brush up on those skills, your value at work and just in your life will increase. And this increase in your own value, upgrading yourself, is going to result in your improved money-making capabilities. And this Mars is going to help you look deeply within your own value system, your own sense of self-worth, and really discover yourself, what you're made of. And this Jupiter in fifth house is going to help you in creatively expressing yourself once you have found what your strength is, what your values are. And with this improved communication style, improved mindset, you are definitely on your path to gain the best possible outcome that you want for yourself, Libras. Scorpios, for you, the December solar eclipse occurs in your second house. Now, second house is the house of finances, your personal finances, and your personal sense of value, your self-worth. Now, when a solar eclipse occurs in your second house, this is obviously a chance to transform and change and bring about a new energy in your second house matter. Now, solar eclipse may sometimes mean an upheaval or crisis in financial matter, but that only occurs if there's some personal planet in there that can trigger that. And even if it is a situation where there is a financial upheaval, Scorpios, it will teach you how to value yourself, what is your own sense of self-worth. All that will be spotlighted, and you will be in a better position to take a decision regarding your finances in the future. Now, solar eclipse here can bring about positive transformation as well in terms of your finances, and can lead to more pay, increase in your personal worth and abundance. And just your salary can go up, the way you manage money, the way you see money, all that can go through a transformation, Scorpios. Now, Mercury is also in the sign of Sagittarius in your second house, and Mercury in second house is definitely making you think more about how you can make more money, how you can improve your money making capabilities, and is giving you this boost up in terms of communicating your way into making more money, presenting yourself, projecting it your way, and using your brain power, mindset to think differently how you can make money compared to what you currently may be doing, or how you can improve upon that. Now, the ruler of Sagittarius Solar Eclipse New Moon is Jupiter, and Jupiter is in the sign of Aquarius, which is your fourth house, which is your home grounds, your family matters. And this Jupiter is squaring to Mars in the sign of Scorpio, which will be in your first house. Now, there's a lot of emphasis on you, Scorpios, during this solar eclipse, because Mars is in your first house, and when Mars comes in your first house, you're very enthusiastic about projecting yourself in a different way, reinventing yourself, and really you're very much enthusiastic about how you want to take your own life forward. Your personal priorities, personal agendas are definitely very much highlighted and spotlighted during this time, and Mars gives you that energy to move forward. And with the square aspect with Jupiter in your fourth house, what your sense of stability and security is coming from how you're projecting yourself and you building up your own persona. Now, it is a square aspect, so you may be a bit more enthusiastic, even reckless to take things forward, but it's important to be mindful that you are taking these steps in a more organized fashion, and not just taking action just for the sake of taking action. So you're doing the thinking and your homework before you are reinventing yourself. But overall, whenever Jupiter and Mars makes an aspect, it's ultimately does result in positive outcomes. So it's very important to channel your energy positively and constructively to achieve whatever goals and ambition you have about yourself, whatever personal priorities you have, whichever way you want to project yourself in the world, Scorpio. So definitely the energy to transform yourself, so definitely there is an energy definitely there is an energy to transform yourself completely, and also your emotional, if you're coming from any kind of emotional crisis, upheaval in the past, this is going to help you really transform yourself and see yourself in a different light, Scorpios. And with the second house solar eclipse, Scorpios, there's definitely a opportunity to transform your sense of self-worth, your self-esteem, most definitely. If you have gone through an emotional crisis or upheaval in your recent past, in the last couple of years or even before that you felt that your capabilities, talent is not enough to uplift yourself by yourself, then this solar eclipse is definitely going to bring that transformation, and you will see yourself for what you are. And this Mars in your first house is definitely going to help you project in the best possible manner, but provided you're channeling your energy constructively and seeing the larger picture of where you want to go, and using your current whatever you have available, your current talents and capabilities to improve your financial situation, and as a result of your overall self-worth and your sense of self, Scorpios. Sagittarius, for you the December solar eclipse occurs in your house, in your first house. So this is a great opportunity. It's almost like a new cycle, start of a new cycle for you, Sagittarius, because whenever solar eclipse occurs in your first house, it affects your basic identity, your sense of self, your personal priorities, your personal destiny, anything to do with you is affected greatly during this time. And it's also a time for changes, transformation in terms of yourself. So if there's any stuck energies in your life, matters that can be self-limiting as well, and is restricting you, is not helping you grow, is stunting your growth, Sagittarius. So it's time to release all these things, all this toxic thinking, negative self-talk. All these needs to go. You need to grow out of whatever you are stopping yourself from. Now, if there is external influence and external opinion that is causing you to limit yourself, it's time to release those energies as well, because at the end of the day, this solar eclipse in your first house, Sagittarius, is definitely time for you to focus on yourself and to focus on your own personal growth. What is your goals and ambition in life? Where do you want to see yourself? It's also a great time to reinvent yourself, and that could be change in look, the way you dress yourself, the way you present yourself, project yourself, your communication style. Everything gets a reboot during this time. Now, whenever solar eclipse occurs in your first house, it affects all areas of your life, because the first house is the house of your life path, is the personal destiny house. So everything gets affected. That includes your home life, your house matters, your relationship, your career, health, work, finances. Everything gets affected, because fourth house is your mindset as well, how you think about yourself, what is your sense of self. Now, if you are thinking positively in terms of yourself, Sagittarius, is going to have a ripple effect in all areas of your life. So use this solar eclipse to really reboot your thinking and get yourself out of the rut, in the mental, the emotional rut, or the mental self-limiting pattern that you might have in your life. Get yourself outside, get yourself out of that. Now, the last couple of years, Sagittarius, may have been very difficult for you, because the South Node was in your sign for the last 18 months, last couple of years. So South Node in the first house is already a very self-limiting kind of energy, can be ego-shattering energy as well. It can really put you emotionally down and really stunt your own growth. So with this last eclipse on the Sagittarius Gemini axis, that energy is moving away, and it's time for you to come out with a renewed faith, renewed hope, and in the new year, really look at yourself in a new way, Sagittarius, because this is definitely going to help you grow and help you heal as well in the next couple of years, when the eclipse occurs in your 6th and 12th house, which is the axis of healing. And all this healing will help you step into your own truth, your own authentic self, and that is very important, Sagittarius. Now, Mercury is also in your sign, in the sign of Sagittarius, in your first house, so you're definitely very much thinking about doing this as well, and it's not just something that you're gonna end up in because of external forces. You yourself is very much ready to make these changes as well, Sagittarius. So do take this opportunity to transform yourself and present yourself in a new light. Now, the ruler of Sagittarius is Jupiter, and Jupiter is in the sign of Aquarius, which will be your 3rd house, and is squaring Mars, which is in the sign of Scorpio, in your 12th house. Now, 3rd house is a house of communication, networking, and siblings, and 12th house is the house of healing. It's also the house of where you rejuvenate your energies, reboot any lost energy, the low energy that you might be feeling. You want to get out of that. Now, Mars in 12th house can turn your energies inwards, so whatever energies you are feeling, you may not be completely ready to project it, but when Mars moves out of your 12th house and into your 1st house in the sign of Sagittarius, sometimes in December, you will definitely feel that energy to really kickstart whatever you want to kickstart. But during this solar eclipse, when Jupiter is in your 3rd house, which is the house of communication and siblings and networking, you're definitely very much enthusiastic about changing your routine, maybe your pattern, what you do on a daily basis in terms of jobs and networking, and you are very much enthusiastic about networking as well during this time. This can help you maybe change your work situation, job situation, and overall can improve your sense of self as well, and ultimately all this will lead to healing Sagittarius. So do use the solar eclipse energy to transform yourself and focus on your own self as well, your own personal needs and, you know, your priority, whatever that might be, Sagittarius, and come out of that rut that you might be stuck into, the emotional self-limiting pattern that you might be stuck into over the last couple of years. Get out of that and really focus on your own healing, Sagittarius. Capricorns, for you, the December solar eclipse occurs in your 12th house. Now, 12th house is the house of past patterns, the house of closure, it's the house of your subconscious self, and also the house where you retreat and, you know, rejuvenate yourself and just, you know, heal yourself as well. Now, solar eclipse occurring in the house of subconscious and unconscious behavior and past pattern can highlight and spotlight any old patterns that you might have that may have led to crisis or hard times for you over the last 2 years or even in the past. It might be a pattern from before that as well. So Capricorns, in order to heal yourself from any kind of limiting or old toxic pattern that you might have in your life, you may be running away from it and not facing it because it has led to such hard times for you and such difficult circumstances that you feel it's better to not face it. Now, Capricorn is a logical and very pragmatic, practical sign, and things that are abstract or away from the physical plane may not sit well with you on a physical level, on a daily life level, but 12th house does represent that, and you may have had dreams or intuition, even gut feeling during this last 2 years where any kind of past pattern or limiting pattern or even things that were hidden from you may have been spotlighted, and you may have chosen not to face those circumstances and, you know, escape from it. 12th house also kind of signifies escapism from any kind of crisis that may have occurred due to this eclipse axis of Sagittarius and Gemini, which is your 12th house and 6th house. So work related issues, health related issues, and just general healing and past pattern, these things may have arisen over the last 2 years. And during this solar eclipse in December, you may want to look at these things with a fresh viewpoint, a fresh approach, and see if there's anything that can be resolved, because once you resolve those patterns, it helps you to move forward, and not just on the conscious level, even subconsciously. Anything that is self-limiting, anything that is holding you back from moving or healing yourself, your own health and healing, can be achieved when you recognize the limiting pattern in your life, Capricorn. Now, Mercury is also in the sign of Sagittarius in your 12th house with this solar eclipse. So you are definitely also maybe thinking about healing and, you know, moving on and just escaping in terms of retreating to heal yourself. So do use this time to get away from the hustle and bustle of life, the work and all the things that you've been doing, and use this time, especially the December month, to relax, and over the next 6 months as well, because the influence of the solar eclipse will last for next 3 to 6 months. So do use this time to definitely heal yourself and move on from any past limiting patterns. Now, the ruler of Sagittarius, where the solar eclipse is Jupiter, and Jupiter is in the sign of Aquarius, and that is your 2nd house. And from there, it's squaring Mars in Scorpio in your 11th house. So there's a 2nd house and 11th house themes coming into play. Now, 2nd house is about your value system. It's about your personal finance as well. And 11th house is about your group projects, your circle, your social circles, your hopes and wishes, basically. So this Jupiter, so whenever Jupiter comes into aspect with Mars, it creates a lot of enthusiasm to take things forward. But with a square aspect, which can be challenging, it may lead to recklessness as well and impulsiveness as well. So it's important to channel this energy of square more constructively so that you can reap the positive outcome. So with this Jupiter Mars aspect, you may discover things of value in your life, things that you uphold in your life through interacting in social circle, or even through, you know, humanitarian activities, if or a cause you might want to associate yourself with. Also, your skills and capability, what you have to offer, may increase your sense of value, sense of self-worth, by offering those capabilities in your workplace, in your you know, group project, the environment, the work environment, the colleagues and acquaintances that you might have in your work environment, to offer your skills and capabilities, your what you are made of, you know, what is valuable in you. You may offer that, and this aspect will make you really enthusiastic to really contribute more to a group project, Capricorn. So overall, Capricorn, use the solar eclipse time to really have another look at your past patterns, limiting patterns, and use this transforming solar eclipse energy to, you know, get yourself out of the rut, the toxic mindset, the toxic negative self-talk, if you have, or anything that is holding you back, especially something that is happened in the past you want to move forward from. So use the solar eclipse energy to, you know, move ahead in life, Capricorn. Aquarius, for you, the December solar eclipse occurs in your 11th house. Now, 11th house is a natural Aquarius house. So the last 2 years of eclipse cycle on Gemini Sagittarius axis must have felt a bit more personally significantly for you, Aquarius. Now, 11th house represents a social circle, your organization, causes, humanitarian activities, any kind of group cause you're part of. So this solar eclipse is going to reset your mindset around the social agendas or causes you might be part of. Also the collaboration and association that you are getting into or you have gotten into over the last 2 years. There will be a sort of a refreshing energy, resetting kind of energy in those matters. Now you like to work together in a community with like-minded people on, you know, causes, whatever is close to your heart, Aquarius. Now this solar eclipse will highlight the friends that you have in your circle, the people that you associate and collaborate with. Do you still want to go ahead with them? Do you still want to collaborate and associate with them? You may even feel to connect with a new set of people, collaborate with a new set of people during this time. And over the last 2 years, you must have gone through a lot of changes and transformation regarding who you associate with. Now Sagittarius Gemini axis is also about kind of online social media, and Aquarius, you are a sign of technology, so definitely something going on online and connecting with people. So going forward with this solar eclipse and for the next 3 to 6 months, you're definitely very much looking at more people, like-minded people you can associate with, and basically find new friends that you can work together on a cause. Now Mercury is in the sign of Sagittarius during the solar eclipse and in your 11th house, so you are definitely thinking about these connections, the personal connection that you want to make, the humanitarian connection, the activities, the cause that you want to be part of. So all that is definitely there, Aquarius. Now the ruler of Sagittarius, where the solar eclipse is occurring, is Jupiter, and Jupiter is in the sign of Aquarius in your first house, and from there it's squaring Mars in the sign of Scorpio in your 10th house. Now first house and 10th house is the house of yourself and your public image. So with the square aspect between Jupiter and Mars, there may be a sort of impulsiveness, over enthusiasm, or even recklessness to take steps towards your, you know, accomplishments, achievements that you want to attain, and, you know, things that you want to attain, your goals and ambitions, and to create a public image, your person. So you are probably reinventing yourself over the year anyways, because Jupiter has been in the sign of Aquarius in 2021, and with Mars in the sign of career, you are definitely very enthusiastic to take your career forward, and you may be taking decisions without thinking during this time. So do your thinking, do your homework, and take steps that is conducive to your growth and is something that you will enjoy as well, and will actually lead to your personal growth and the growth of your career, Aquarius. So overall, Aquarius, during the solar eclipse and going forward, there is a transformation that's occurring in your social circle, in the causes that you associate with, and just the activities, humanity, group activities, and all that, collaborations that you associate yourself with. There's a transformation occurring during that in those matters, and you are definitely very keen and very enthusiastic to project yourself in a way in front of your audience or in your social circle, in the causes that you associate yourself with, to uplift your public image, your visibility, and just your place in the world, Aquarius. Pisces, for you the December solar eclipse occurs in your 10th house. Now 10th house is the house of your public image, is the house of your career, your vocation, your place in the world. So when an eclipse occurs in your 10th house, your career matters, your public image, all these matters are highlighted. So any kind of mistakes or any kind of accomplishments, any kind of upward or downward movement in your career matters will be spotlighted, Pisces. So any kind of upward or downward movement in your career, or the way you're projecting yourself to the world, will be highlighted during this time. And you may have felt this in the last couple of years as well. Because the eclipse was on the Gemini Sagittarius axis, which was highlighting your 10th and 4th house, which is the house of your career and your home matters. So Pisces, the solar eclipse in your 10th house is definitely going to transform your career and your desire to reach the top, to advance in your career, to keep climbing that career ladder, the ladder of attainment and achievement and the goals that you have in your life. Now you may feel frustrated if the hard work that you're putting in is going unrecognized, and whatever you're trying to achieve is being overlooked by the authority figure, and you're not achieving what you want to achieve even after the hard work that you have been putting, Pisces. So Pisces, it's also important to kind of look at your career goals again, refresh it, refine it if you think there is something lacking in it. Now, if you want a fulfilling career and advancement, Pisces, you probably have to take some tangible, practical steps towards your goal, whatever that might be. Maybe it's something you need to learn. Maybe you need to develop new skills or upskill yourself, or project yourself, communicate in more effectively, whatever that might be. So it's a good time to look into that, and you will see the transformation once the effort has been put in relearning or upskilling yourself in these matters, in your career matters. Now Mercury is also in the 10th house in the sign of Sagittarius during the solar eclipse. Now Mercury in 10th house is great to project and communicate yourself more effectively in your career matters in front of the people, the decision maker or the authority figure, whatever that might be. So use this Mercury energy in the sign of Sagittarius to really project yourself, and really the mindset, to remold your mindset. If things are not working out the way you want it to work out, then maybe there's something that needs to be relooked at. So a renewed energy is definitely required in your career matter, and the solar eclipse is going to give you that, because it's a new moon energy, it's a refreshing, resetting kind of energy. So you're definitely very much eager to make some changes in your public image, in your career matters. Now the ruler of Sagittarius, where the solar eclipse is occurring, is Jupiter, and Jupiter is in your 12th house. And from there it's squaring Mars in the sign of Scorpio, which will be in your 9th house. So there's a 12th house and 9th house matter coming into play. So Mars in 9th house is giving you a lot of enthusiasm to attain more wisdom through learning and travel, to open your mind, to explore and try out new things. And with the 12th house, which is a house of retreat and rejuvenating yourself, it's the house of past patterns and healing yourself. So you are looking towards traveling and learning and thus healing yourself very enthusiastically, and you're very excited about these matters during this time. Now be mindful that it is a square aspect, so hence it's a challenging aspect. So you have to channel your energy more constructively, so that you're able to use the energy, the Jupiter energy in your 12th house, in a more constructive, more healing way. And with this Mars in your 9th house, which is about wisdom and opening up yourself to new thinking, new philosophies. Now Pisces, opening up your mind and healing yourself and looking at new opportunity may help you to advance your career, and through looking at career matters in a new light, with a new energy, even changing things that might not be working. And all this can really help you grow and project yourself outwardly the way you want to, Pisces. Thank you for watching my December solar eclipse video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and you can use this transforming, resetting solar eclipse energy, the new moon energy in your life to see where things are lacking and where you can have a fresh beginning, or even just a renewal of faith, because Sagittarius is about faith, your own faith. So you could look into that, and this you could do through learning or traveling, and this is going to really help you the next 3 to 6 months and will set the tone for the next year as well. So use the solar eclipse energy to shake things up in your life, things that are stuck, and you want to unstuck them and you want to have a fresh new energy. So use it and you will see the effect over the next 3 to 6 months. So have fun, and thank you for watching and liking, subscribing my videos and channel, and see you again later.